How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and today I'm going to be releasing the news about what's going down with CCIV and Lucid Motors. It just came out, but first, before we get into that, let's do the technical analysis on CCIV and what happened on Friday. There was a massive dip. Many people were asking me questions. How did I feel about the price action and so forth? Is it going to rebound? And what's going to actually happen next week with this catalyst involved as well? All right, so let's get into it. All right, so let's go into the technical analysis for CCIV. All right, so I know when the last time we did a video, it was some days ago, but I'm just going to go over in regards to Thursday and Friday very quickly, and then we're going to get right into the news because I know you guys are just as excited as I am because that article came out and hey, we finally going to get some answers that we need to know coming next week, right? I'm really looking forward to that. So let's get into this chart, all right? So as you can see what's going on, so on Thursday, February the 18th, we ended up hitting a high of $64.86. Wow. Like I must say I remember a lot of people were saying, hey, when the news first came out, oh, $20 is overvalued, 25 overvalued, hit 30, oh, 30's overvalued, oh, 40's over. Like again, it's constantly been overvalued. You shouldn't buy or you shouldn't get involved. And here we go on a Thursday at $64.86. So curiosity kind of runs through my mind, and we're not taking into consideration Friday yet, is that many people actually sold in this area. And you know what? I really don't blame them either. Like selling here at $64, because again, that's a really good price, and especially if you got in the $17, the $15, or the $16 area, then you are up big time. So it's no shame at all when it comes to taking any profits whatsoever. So kudos to the people who've done that. And shout out to the people who have been holding throughout the entire time. Hey, man, we got to show love to the diamond hands, all right? All right, so we ended up hitting this high of 64. And then as it came close to the market end, on the Thursday, it came back down to the high 50s, right? So we had some consolidation going on here, and pretty much going on in after hours, and ended up finishing the day at 58. Ended up having a gap up for the next day, which was yesterday, Friday, and it ended up hitting a pre-market high of $62.38. So as you could see throughout the whole entire pre-market, this was literally your area of resistance, right? This $62 range, right? Even if we move out the chart and let's switch to the 1 day, 1 minute. All right. Yeah, so look at this. Yeah, we have that 62 area. That was resistance area. And you could see right at open here, it tried to challenge it. Like it tried to break it, because I know for sure if it would have broke it, it would have definitely hit 645 very, very quickly and pretty much past that area and go to 63. But hey, the resistance, it got knocked back down, right? So as you guys saw what was going on for the rest of the day, it was literally trading sideways, right? For a large portion of the day up until 12:20. And what do we have here? If you guys know and you've been to the channel, I know this may sound repetitive. Hey, this is an area where there's a lot of support here. A lot of in between the 60s, right? And then the high 50s. We had a little bit of a drop here at 58, but then it reclaimed, right? So we know those are the ranges in regards to, like, you know what, that's pretty fair. Like even when you look at the RSI down here, right down the middle, it's around 48 to 50, right? And that's usually the middle. Like 30, that means it's oversold, and then above 70, it's overbought, right? That's how we know whether we're getting a good price, right? So this goes on for too long, and people just get impatient. It's a Friday, right? So as we get down here, we end up getting down here to $56.87. As you can see, if we look down, this is actually a good spot to be in, because literally the RSI was around 14, below 30. So this was an area where it's like, whoa, that's why we had a quick recovery, and it made the bounce back up to run up to back to 60. But I wanted to extend the chart to show you guys something very quickly here, and to show you what I've been showing you guys in all these videos. And when we do this analysis, what does that look like? On more than one occasion, we've actually bounced off this area, right? Look at this. Bounce here on the Thursday, right? We had another bounce here during regular trading hours. This is not a coincidence. And then look at this. Bounce, right? Went underneath, came back up, bounced, right? So this is how we figure out where we see support, resistance, and so forth. When we see these certain price actions bouncing off certain levels. So now as we get later on into the day, and then, whoa, here's when I started getting the messages and people are asking me, what happened? Literally, CCIV went from 58 all the way down to $50. It would have been very, very hard to actually catch this. If you had a limit order in at 50, then definitely it got filled. But let's just say, hey, if you were able to catch it around 51, wow, kudos to you. Because honestly, even if we take a look at the RSI right now, literally it was at 5. It was literally at 5, 7. Yeah, let's just call that 7. It was literally, RSI was at 7. So this was a big time buying opportunity right here. This is the perfect situation. If you ever see something like this, if you can catch it quick enough, just put in a market order. Like, because sometimes you might put in the limit, you won't get it because you got to put in everything. You put in the market and you can catch it as soon as when you see 50, just put in that market order right away. I'm messing. But anyways, so as you can see, it ended up recovering very quickly, bounced back up to 56, and then just started having a hard time after that. Like I said, that a lot of people, I guarantee there were a lot of stop losses that were triggered. A lot of, again, like I know for a fact, when you have like there's a big selling like this right here, you could tell a lot of stop losses were triggered because that's a big drop. That's a very, very big drop. I was actually online and I was looking at some articles and stuff and doing some research, and apparently a group that had a pretty substantial holding in CCIV were the ones that kind of dropped to pretty much sold a lot of their shares, which caused this to happen. And then if you compound psychological factors, people might panic, and then the stop loss and so forth, you have things like this. But it ended up recovering, right? Ended up getting back to a high of $55, and that was just a resistance area there. It never revisited again. Let's just call that, $55 and let's say 50 cents. It tried touching those areas again, as you can see around here, but it just lost a lot of momentum. Then it went down to 52, right? Moved back up to the upside, 54, then back down, as you can see here, to 52. As you can see in after hours on Friday, it was going up and down, but trading in that range of 52 to about 54, right? As it got closer on towards the end, and this is like literally where it got, I would say, fairly interesting, because around this time, it's like around 6, right? And we already know after hours closes at 8. We ended up making a run to 55. So going to 55, when we look at there at the top there, tried challenging. So that was like that resistance area towards the end of the day. That's something to actually pay attention to, especially with the news that we're going to be going over and so forth. I would not be surprised if we end up seeing a gap up to about 56. Yeah, so because like I said, we have this level here. Once we pass 55 on a gap up to 57, I would not be shocked. 56, I would not be shocked. I would definitely want to see us get out of that 55 area. And honestly, with that news and so forth, it can go either way, right? We could have a huge sell-off, right? A huge sell-off, especially with the big-time news coming on Tuesday. We could have a sell-off. That's a possibility. And then what ends up happening is that there's two things after that sell-off. It could run up right away, or it could take a few days actually, or what will happen soon as when it's announced, the stock can literally start going parabolic, and it will definitely revisit that 61.97 and also revisit that 64. A lot of people are saying that, hey, we could possibly see $70 to $80, and that would not be any shock to me. And hey, I would love that because I'm a long-term investor as well. All right, so here's a report that recently came out. I think this originally came from Bloomberg, but I seen it here on the Silicon Valley Business Journal. And here it goes. Report: Lucid Motors plans to go public could be announced Tuesday. So as you can see, 2 hours ago, After weeks of speculation, a deal to take the Newark-based Lucid Motors Inc. public reportedly could be announced as early as Tuesday. Bloomberg cited this, of course, who said that the deal could still fall apart, but it's on track to be announced early in the upcoming week. Last month, another report from Bloomberg set off speculative investment in Churchill Capital Corp, or CCIV. The SPAC reportedly involved driving its market cap up to $13.7 billion. Its stock is up about 429% year to date, closing at $52.94 on Friday. A story from Reuters on Tuesday said that Churchill founder Michael Klein was trying to raise between $1 billion and $1.5 billion in funding from institutional investors to support the transaction. It said that the valuation for Lucid in the deal would be around $12 billion. Bloomberg sources also said Klein is raising money, but said that the deal could be valued as high as $15 billion, the same figure it projected in its original story last month. Klein is a former Citigroup rainmaker who's also an advisor to the Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund. The fund is also a major investor in Lucid and led the company's last private financing in 2018, which valued the car maker at about $1.3 billion. So as you can see what's going on with these valuations, again, it's just crazy seeing how this whole situation has played out and how much people are actually excited about this. Another thing is that we need to take into consideration, I told you guys in my earlier Lucid videos that Michael Klein is the man who gets things done. And the fact that he's an advisor on the Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund means that, hey, you know what? This guy knows what he's doing. So is there a chance that this deal can fall through? Of course. But we understand and we know the risk of that. And like I say, make sure you have a stop loss or you got a trailing stop in place. I'm pretty sure if you did have one, you probably got knocked out of the trade or you probably lost some of your position on the Friday. Let's be realistic here. But at the same time, like I say, you want to make sure that you do not, and I repeat, you do not go against your own philosophies when it comes to trading and when it comes to investments. That's what is super important because that's what kills the whole FOMO attitude and so forth, all right? So now, the good thing about this, after going through this article as we go even further, right? Here, check this out, and it kind of explains how much excitement and how much momentum there is. A Lucid Churchill deal would be one of the largest SPAC mergers to be announced, beaten only by the United Wholesale Mortgage LLC's merger with Gores Holdings Inc., which was valued at around $16 billion. Like, here's my question. Did they know this was going to happen? Did they know there was going to be this much excitement? Like, you guys let me know inside the comments. Do you think Michael Klein from CCIV and Rawlinson, who is the CEO of Lucid Motors, who used to be a chief engineer at Tesla, do you really think they saw this happening? Like, hey, answer that down below. Let me know. Like, again, I'm super excited for this. Either way this goes, I'm already prepared. I got my risk management measures in place. Hey, I know a lot of people that sold their warrants back when it hit that high in the $64 range. But hey, I'm definitely looking towards seeing some upside. And yeah, can't wait for the news that's going to be coming on Tuesday. Talk to you guys right after. So those are my final thoughts on it. With the merger being announced actually, like, wow, like coming next week, that is huge. For any of you that have been watching my CCIV videos, I'm just hoping that you had the opportunity to buy some warrants. Again, if you believe in the company, make sure you hold on to some of them stocks. You could hold a portion of it, so you know what? You could lock in how much you actually put in and then ride the rest as profits. That's a strategy. Or you could just keep all your stock and just ride with it all the way through. I know for myself, I bought stocks and I bought warrants, so I am definitely going to be selling off those warrants. But I'm going to be keeping an eye on the price because I want to make sure I get the best value possible. I think there's going to be a lot of things happening next week, and I'm actually going to be looking forward to seeing a very, very bullish pattern. I'm trying to see some moves to the upside, especially since we had a dip on Friday. But hey, we will see. And also want to put in a disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor, and this isn't financial advice, so when you do invest, Just make sure that you know that you're doing it at your own risk as well. I'm so excited for this. I can't wait for Monday. We'll talk soon. Peace.